It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Yeastie Boys, and this is a bottle of their Rex Attitude. It's a 7% ABV peated ale. Now they've used peated smoked malt, but they haven't used just a little bit of this malt. They've used a ton of this malt. Can you remember back in the day, if you drunk beer long enough, the old school American double IPAs, which would rip your palate apart with bitterness? Well, Yeastie Boys have decided to go down the line here of ripping your palate apart with peat smoked malt. This is going to be the smokiest, peatiest. This is going to be like sticking your face in pipe tobacco, chewing old pipe tobacco. It's a proper old school peated smoked ale. Let's get it out into a glass, see what we get. 7% ABV. Nice bit of smoke on the bottle opening. Beer in the glass. Oh, look at this. Whoop. Getting a bit excited with my pour there. We got a one finger white head. Hazy looking smoked ale. Slow moving carbonation. I'd say a light amber looking ale. I can smell the smokiness from here. This beer is not for the light-hearted. This beer is for, I would say, people who are really kind of, they've drank a million New England IPAs. They've drank a million porters and a million stouts, and they just want to try something different in beer. This is for you, I think. Something just completely off track and in a different direction entirely. Or, for the curious out there, let's get the aroma. It's almost got a medical kind of aroma to it. It almost makes you want to kind of, my first reaction, if you want to rewind it, is to go, wow, is to pull away from it. So smoky. So smoky. Peaty, and yeah, it's like, I've never dived into a peat bog. I wouldn't want to. They found like intact bodies in peat bogs with flesh on them like 1,000 years old. They just don't decay. They just don't decay in this stuff. But I hope there's no. I might get the odd fly in here, but that would be the extent of the bodies in this beer. I hope. So peaty and smoky and spicy and peppery. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh. I tell you what it tastes like. Campfire. It tastes like campfire. This tastes like, do you know when you put a fire out? Do you know when you've been burning a fire for hours and hours and hours, and then you throw a load of water on the fire? Or you go and have a look at your fire in the morning and it's just got that kind of, there's still smoke in the air, it's still smouldering. But I'd say more to the point, if you threw a massive bucket of water or got a hose pipe out and put your fire out after hours and hours of burning, and it fills the air with a, it's almost, well, you can taste it on your tongue. I love fire. I love burning. I'm out the garden burning all the time, so I know this kind of taste. Second to none. It's that when you burn for hours and you've got loads of wood going out at the same time, and it's throwing dust particles in the air, and you can taste them dust particles on your tongue and in your nose, and this really is like putting out a campfire that you've been burning for hours and hours and hours. It's drinkable, it's refreshing, it really is, but it's a taste all on its own. This is not about hops. This is not about hops whatsoever. Everybody is banging on about hops and how hops are great. They are great, I love hops, don't get me wrong. This is the other end of the spectrum in such an extreme way that it's very, very difficult to even put on paper, even not on paper, but even to explain to you guys what I'm experiencing here in the taste. They've almost made it like they've called it Rex Attitude, like this dinosaur style of beer where it was all about the malt years ago. You know, it's almost like a little reference to the dinosaurs, the relics of the past, where it never used to be about hops. It very much used to be about complex malts. And this is the most complex malt. This is the most complex beer, the most challenging, one of the most challenging beers I think I've ever had to review in my life. I think if I was brand new to beer, I just put down my can of Carling and I decided to go down the road of drinking real ales. I think if I mistakenly picked this one up and it was my first beer from putting down my pint of Stella or Foster's or Carling, I think I'd make a very quick about turn and go and pick up my can of Carling again. Again, it's not... I really don't think it's for the faint-hearted, this one. Not the faint-hearted, but maybe the new people who are getting into craft beer. If you're new to craft beer, please don't search this out, because this will just about turn you and send you in another direction. This beer has been brewed for people who have really tried most styles of beer, and they want to try something different. And this is the most different beer you'll ever try in your life. It really is. Wow. There's a big warning sign here. Look, warning. They say it couldn't be done, that it would be undrinkable, that we couldn't use more than 5% heavily peated malt in a beer. So we carefully considered their advice and went with 100% instead. Rex Attitude is inspired by French techno and the whiskey of Scotland's west coast. It's been said to be like tonguing your grandfather. Cigars, tweed, leather and kippers. Consider yourself warned. Yeastie boys, this is a New Zealand craft beer. Like tonguing your grandfather. Wow. they're not afraid to have a bit of a joke and a laugh. I like that. I like that in people. Being able to have a joke and a laugh. Rating for this monstrous peated smoked beer. In all honesty, it was a really nice experience to try this beer. Would I go and buy another bottle? Would I have another half? I think if I was out with the boys, in a craft beer bar, and I wanted to really kind of like wind them up and, you know, send them down the garden path, if you like, then I'd buy them a third. I'd buy them a third of this Rex Attitude and say, come on boys, drink up, you know, that type of thing. But I don't think I would. Everything is campfire. My face feels like I've got a log in my mouth, a burnt log sticking out my mouth as I'm trying to talk here. It's properly smoky, it's properly charred. It's a bit too much for me. So for that reason, I totally respect the innovation, the thought process of the brewers here, but I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's a 6 out of 10 for Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers!